We're starting off the morning with a package unboxing. This is from our friends over at Seems Legit Garage. They actually were prototyping and fabricating a dual caliper kit for the Supra, and they reached out and they said, yo, would you want this? And for the meantime, we were just gonna run an inline for our hydro, and I said, yes, we would absolutely like that. So we have a full kit. I thought they were just sending the mounting bracket to put a caliper on the car, and they actually ended up sending calipers too, which is super, super cool. So we weren't expecting to even throw these on today, but we have a dual caliper for the Supra. So let's go ahead and get started installing those.
This bolts in to this top bolt, and then rests on the knuckle here. So this misalignment spacer right here, we're gonna have to shave down the width of this adapter. So the alignment won't get fucked. We'll have to adjust the misalignment spacer so that we can fit it.
Well, alignment's fucked.
No, it's gonna be fine.
No,
it's okay.
No.
Because I'm gonna go like this, rack this out. I'm gonna take a micrometer and measure it, and then I'm probably gonna have you shave down this. Actually, I'm gonna use a flap disc. I love flap discs and cutoff wheels. They're so universal. So what you do is you run it through the hole and then back into here. I'm gonna look at their. Actually, I'm gonna look at their instructions. Oh.
Don't do that. Yo, did we have these off? These are already loose. Calipers.
Yeah, that's why I'm nut and bolting the car.
They're loose.
Yeah, that's why I'm nut and bolting the car, because I don't trust any of you.
Cal, can you go get a zip? Oh, there's Ah!
Oh, how easy was it to take all that stuff off? Yeah.
I'll do it faster. What?
But my pride is... Whoops. What are you, that 1/6? Is it Mortal Kombat or what was it?
Oh, Katana. Jade.
He like does like the fan thing or whatever. I don't know. I've never...
Katana.
I think it's katana.
Katana.
Turn this around, thread it in. Red Loctite. Boom. Down here. The reason I want to shave this off is because I'm worried that offsetting this...
Oh!
Who was that?
Your mom.
Dude, she does not look that handsome.
We have a couple things from Street Hunter that I haven't shown you guys yet. Again, one of the reasons why we don't have the wing on this car is because we had a V2 wing, which we're going to be prototype fitting today, which I'm super excited about. But two, we have a Street Hunter steering wheel that is soon to come out. This might be a little bit too big of a deep dish. It's for sure going to be too big of a deep dish.
That was the original prototype, and it's actually a renowned steering wheel that we custom made for the first time, but we're actually manufacturing our own wheels coming up. So take a look for that in the next maybe month or two.
These are super cool. We're going to throw it in the car. It's going to be a little bit too deep.
This one particularly is a 350 millimeter in diameter wheel, so it's slightly bigger than what TJ actually runs in most of his cars. We're going to go to something a little bit shallower, and it's going to have a completely solid center for a little bit more rigidity as well.
I like 350s personally. That 2-spoke that I ran was a 350. This one's a 330 right now. I like this a lot. Dude, it feels really good.
Yeah, it feels dope.
Anthony, I'm sorry, but we didn't get the tires.
Damn.
For yours.
Are those the wheels though?
They are the wheels. So we have new wheels from HRE for a special little something that we have going on coming up. Yeah, it's a ruckus project.
This is the new.
So this is the new. We have the blade coming along with one of our engineers to kind of help with today's install, but we have thermoformed templates for you guys to actually mount the wing on these days, along with new hardware, a new blade, and a couple new features on the parts.
This is super dope.
So the only thing today is that because it's our first prototype, so to speak, all the hardware isn't technically in it. Like, we're gonna have to still screw the deck lid today and stuff together just to make sure that we finalize the exact fitments and everything, but we're gonna actually put everything together and do the install today, which will be cool to see.
The wing is so much better.
It finds its tone pretty well.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking like maybe a half mil gap places, that's it.
And between the new template that you guys are gonna get with the wing and then the way that we reshape the bottom, there will be significantly less body work that you actually have to do. If you guys remember some of our first videos when we developed the Supra wing, one of the biggest things that we had was the fact that you kind of had to body work the wing just a little bit at the bottom. If you remember, we 3D printed it. We've come a long way since then, and now we're very, very accurate, and this is a super complex piece, honestly. So the Supra itself, if you look at the curvature going here in the back, it actually has to wrap into this crevice right here, and on the top, it's more of like a duckbill. So the connection point for this style of spoiler is actually super intricate. That's why it's actually taken us such a long time to get the final development done, but the fitment and the quality of it is so much better now than the original part that we made.
And it looks different. You kind of said that too.
Yeah.
The deck lid was more aggressive, which is like the bridge in between the two stands. It's different, it's more aggressive. These stands have more detail in them. It's just an overall much better product. We're no longer going to be selling. The wing you can buy by the time you're watching this video is not going to be available anymore. It's just going to be replaced by this wing.
Since the part is getting discontinued, we're going to be selling off. We have roughly about 5 V1 wings still in stock right now. For any of you that go on our website before this video comes out and you're lucky enough to get your hands on one, then you'll get one of the last ones. Now, however, moving forward, when we come out with the V2 wing, if you are the original purchaser of a V1 wing, we'll give you 15% off if you want to purchase a V2. Now, the stands will not fit from a V1 to a V2. It is a completely different setup, so you will have to buy a whole new setup, but you could always sell your first one off to someone else.
I'm currently doing just a test of the bolts. It came with new hardware because I was looking at this and how that nib came out a little too far, so I was a little apprehensive on how it would fit. So I'm just doing a couple tests. It looks like I kind of need to check the back where it ends up sitting right here to make sure. I don't want to do what Dylan's saying because shaving and cutting and stuff seems like a lot and it'll still be a bit off. Hey, Dylan.
What's up, bud?
He's
No,
wrong.
Keep going, go for it.
Maybe we could just twist it out. I don't know. It'll be toe in a little bit in the back if we don't shave it.
Wrong.
Tell me how I'm
Hey,
wrong.
hold up, check this out. Yeah, hello? Yep. No, Calvin is wrong. Wow, crazy. Hold on, I agree. 1 second. Really wrong. Oh, it's chapstick. I don't know if you knew that, but
What are we gonna do then?
okay.
What are we gonna do about it?
Here's my thought: is if it spaces this out, right, it's effectively making this arm shorter, which is towing the front out, right? That's my thought. The way you
Easy
two
breeze.
look like a high school prom picture, I'm not gonna ask this question. I'm going back to this.
We were both wrong.
We were both wrong. Calvin, I think it's gonna be so minimal having that like 1/4 or 1/8 inch off that it's not gonna matter. So we're just gonna run it. And as long as the thread engagement is good, it'll be good. We're good. Calvin's good. Calvin and I fought off camera. He looks a little worse for the wear, but look at his face.
I definitely lost. I
Oh
definitely.
my god, I beat that thing up.
What the? 21?
Calvin said a really rude thing, and he said it was really far off. The way it's machined and it rolls back, it's pretty perfect. Thanks, Seems Legit Garage.
Seems
Ignore-
legit, actually.
Ignore Calvin.
Actually, unironically, seems legit.
Each one I tried the other day.
Nice fucking catch.
Like that?
I want to try and find a place to route this line that's the least intrusive to all the suspension arms, and usually I'll run it like on a suspension arm because there's not factory bracketry. So I'm gonna bolt them both in and see where they kind of land, and then put some gap in it so it doesn't have too much tension on the fitting, and then see where it sits. Super simple. New calipers, 1 per side, 1 line per side. They go to new fittings, and then they go to this T, which is just like a, your stock factory rears, but instead of it being a foot brake, it just goes to your handbrake. So we'll run this, we'll find a good place that's not intrusive to drill a hole and run it through the cab. And then this fitting will go to the pressure side of the master cylinder for the handbrake, feeding pressure into the lines to the calipers. And then we'll use the front fitting of the master to go to an external reservoir that just has fluid in it, like your master on the firewall. It's gonna retain the fluid, and then when you pull, it's gonna help you bleed it, have a little bit excess in case there's some kind of seepage. Fluid reservoir, line, gravity fed, master cylinder for the handbrake, pressure fitting out, -3AN, to this line, to the T-fitting, out to both your calipers.
Now that the calipers are on the car, we're gonna move on to test fitting the new wing. So part of the whole new redesign is we're trying to make this as dummy proof as possible because we've gotten a lot of feedback from people who have bought in this wing, and trust me, it's been hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that have bought in this wing. It's our #1 product, so we really wanna do this better with this new version. So we actually made templates to drill out the wing. There's a template for the right side, template for the left side. This will come with your order. You pretty much will lay it on the trunk lid and you hold it and it fits perfectly. All the ridges line up. There's no guessing. There's no getting confused on the placement of this, which is really cool. So we're gonna drill out all these holes. It's gonna give us our hole placement for the wing. And then we also have an undersheet. This undersheet, when we raise the car, this is what the plastic's gonna look like. I'll show you guys in just a second. And then you cut out all of these holes, which will lead to these holes And then, rather than just having super long hardware sandwich the wing and the bottom of the plastic, we now have 3D printed spacers. But you're like, Tej, why is it crooked? What? It's supposed to be crooked because this actually contours to the shape of the wing, and then all of these points will all be flat. So it's pretty much a conformed spacer. But damn, Street Hunter leveling the fuck up. So I'm gonna go ahead and start drilling this out.
Is this whole thing?
It's all plastic. I know, weird. It's one of the reasons why it makes making a wing for this car so difficult, because it's not metal.
Because you have to make it more structural than it came from the factory?
Thanks, Toyota or BMW.
I think this is.
Here, you want to try some?
I mean,
Yeah.
I think we could actually literally cut it out.
I would.
Thanks. I loved it.
This is still like our prototype. I think it's gonna fit perfectly, but if it doesn't,
We have a little bit of changes to make.
and there's a couple of changes, yeah. But it should be.
It's our very first try. How about that? So as TJ's doing this, let me show you guys. One of the cool parts about the spacers is you'll see that there's actually an indicator, one being, left and one being right, and then there's a corresponding number that goes with it. If we take a look at the template that TJ is cutting out over here, it actually has the exact numbers that correspond to which hole it goes, and then to make it even easier, if you see this tiny little line right here, there's just a tiny little guide mark. If you align this guide mark to the template, it has the same guide mark on the template, and that way you can actually match the angle perfectly, so you don't have to guess which angle this is going at.
We just went ahead and swapped over the NRG quick release on the car. We did this a while ago. They sold out so fast. I think we did a reorder they're on the website. We did titanium hardware for steering wheels. So there's a Street Hunter logo in there. It's pretty small. It's really cool. I'm really excited about it. And then this wheel is obviously our prototype. Dylan's been running it in his personal Street Hunter BRZ, which is why it's a little grimy. We're gonna steal it now for the car's sake. And hey, Sprint, look at this.
Oh, whoa, the back is so sick.
Super cool. So we're gonna go ahead and throw it in on the car. It's a little bit too deep for my preference or for the setup of this car, but because it looks cool, we're gonna throw it in there and use it for the time being.
So here what we did was we actually attached the 3D printed spacers straight to the wing just to show you guys the actual curvature and accuracy that we did the spacers, so that the hardware underneath it will end up sandwiching perfectly to the trunk and will sit perfectly flat every time.
That's awesome.
And every one of them will come with this, so for your install guide at home, it'll be a lot easier, or the shop that does it for you.
Go get some tape, Tej. We're gonna tape it out.
You want to hold it and we can look at it from the bottom? Look, there's one, two.
Oh, wow. Oh, 3. It's pretty spot on.
Yeah.
Yeah, fitment's really good. Wow, yeah, that's great.
Look at the underside.
No, you don't need bugger work at all for that. Wow, that's great. If you were wrapping it, you could pretty much just vinyl wrap that. Oh, that's much more aggressive, right?
You
Yeah.
can't really tell like when it's sitting down on the floor,
Oh,
but when
but
you
you
see it on the car, it is for sure.
more.
So as we start talking about the deck lid, some of the new things on the new deck is that this center section rises up a lot more, and if you look at this ridge in the back, it has much more curvature and kick. Another thing that we ended up adding with the new sections here in the wing is that there's actually indentations. If we take this apart really quick, you can see there's an indentation here, so when we end up putting the wing back together, it will hide any gapping that you may have when it goes back together. That was one of the things on the first version of the car, or of the stand. When you look, this was completely flat. So when you would end up lining up the blade into it, you could create a tiny bit of gapping that was happening right here. This way, it has a perfectly nice place to both sit and line up perfectly, and it will hide any gapping whatsoever, so it'll always be perfectly seamless.
We're gonna go ahead and put in a driver's side harness on the Supra right now. This is a new box, but I just unboxed the other one and I just started laying some of it out. I normally go for a like 2.5 inch width, and I actually went for the skinnier one this time. Went for a 2 inch. These ones are super nice. They have cool little pull red tabs on them. We're gonna go ahead and get this mounted in the seat right now. Our dyno day is in less than 48 hours, so we're pretty much just trying to get this car running and driving and getting all like the necessities done first, as we kind of talked about previously in the week. So for now, all we need is a driver's seat and driver seat belts. We don't need that for the dyno, but we just want to make sure we have like the necessities to drive. That's kind of our goal for the dyno. So we're gonna go ahead, toss in the driver's seat belt.
Update, shoulder straps are in. I just need TJ to come here and put the seat in. And then we have to bolt up the seat. And then we're gonna see where this goes and make sure it fits on him well. This is the time-consuming part because he has to get in and out of the car. We still have to figure out how to get the anti-submarining straps on there. For now, we can't do it through the chassis of the car. So I was thinking of some way to bolt it to here, maybe. Well, I don't know yet. But but wherever he is, if we need him.
Oh! That's dope. Damn, that's nice.
That shook in. That went. Thump.
I know.
It was like, oh,
that,
you want
it's
this?
that little indentation helps so much, actually.
Got a really early start this morning. We're really trying to get this car done, and today we're gonna get our windshield back in the car. Beck's Auto Glass is the guy who does all of our windshields, and he's located in the Temecula and San Diego area. I just want to put a little spotlight and shout out to him. Taking out windows and putting them back and not cracking them is an art. It's a skill, and when it comes to a car that we really don't want to have to buy another windshield, I didn't really trust anyone else. So I'm gonna link him down below. He does all of Throttle's cars. He does all of our cars, and he's the homie. And he actually understands cars. I feel like when you have people do services for you, there's definitely a big advantage to having someone who's actually a car enthusiast themselves and knows how to take care of things properly and is comfortable working around cars like this. I just want to recommend him to all of you guys in the Southern California area. Like I said, he's based out of Temecula and San Diego. So if you're interested, I'm gonna link all of his stuff down below. If you need a windshield job done, definitely hit him up. Damn, who did that roof job?
These rails right here?
Yeah.
Are you guys painting these, or what are you guys doing with this?
We're gonna try to fit the things back in.
Well, I was gonna say, I can take my black primer, and I can take that to turn it black, so that way when you look inside of it, it doesn't look, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I would be all right with that. Damn.
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
That looks so good.
Yeah.
Here are a bunch of overnight parts, because just with every build you think you have everything needed, and then you're like, oh shit, we don't. Now we need to spend $50 on overnighting everything. So here are some harness hardware so we can chassis mount our harness. Dude, the concept of overnighting things is so crazy. Have you ever thought about that? How does that happen? How does shipping fulfillment and logistics is like one of the craziest things in the world to me.
I just picture like 10 really stressed out people going, on to the next thing. And it goes from like, into a box, onto a truck, into a plane.
Here's the proper banjo fitting for the hydro.
Let's hope.
I think this is our reservoir for the hydro, because now we're going to be using a remote reservoir. There's an AN on the bottom of that, right? RK Tunes did a, what would you call it? It's the ELock system for the diff, but the module, he like modifies the module so the diff doesn't ever stay open. So he modified it. I think we have to, oh, where's the rest of it? I'm gonna text him because I don't know, is the whole thing supposed to come back?
I don't know. I don't know this well enough.
So unfortunately, Jordan forgot one of the splines. It's pretty much an adapter spline for the diff. Luckily, we have another E90 Supra here.
There's a whole different car here.
So we're gonna be stealing this little thing. I'm not really sure how this thing operates. It essentially like locks it out so it never goes open again.
I got it.
Go for it.
I got it. This spins counterclockwise or clockwise, and there's a ramp that gets lowered or raised that wedges the discs closer or further together, which gives it more or less of a lock.
So it never goes to an open diff. It
So
always stays locked.
it's always either a high lock percentage or fully locked.
Yep.
Or hold this right there. Don't move it. Just hold it exactly right there. Teamwork.
It's been about 30 minutes later. Dylan just finished installing in the new ELock system on the diff, and I've been routing our hydro lines that come out from the car that route all the way up to the diff and go around. You can't really see anything through the diff, but now, look at that. Yay. So while we've been doing that, Calvin's putting back the interior because we had to reroute the lines for the hydro, because now we're going to be doing a remote reservoir for the hydro system.
Rear's good, front's good. The master back to the hydro is great. So
We can just
drivetrain's good.
Nut and bolt the underside while we're still up,
Nut and bolt it, and then it's just fluids.
another surprise modification, not a modification. Shout out Throttle. You guys can use code TJHunt at throttle.com and save up to 15%. Stop paying full price for car parts. That's silly. Why would you ever want to do that? Dylan does it. Not sure why. He really needs to stop doing that. And next time Dylan buys car parts, he's probably going to use code TJHunt and save up to 15% off. It's a toe strap. No, people are
So fortunately, the bride seat rails that TJ wanted came in. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put that in now. I don't know how much he's told you. Tomorrow's D-Day. We have to get it on the dyno. We're very close. They just finished putting in the seat belt harness loops in the floorboard of the car because that is FD spec. I'm gonna try and put this together.
Just double check, these are both water reservoirs, right guys?
Yes, they're both coolant. Wait, no, they're not.
Dude, I'm not stopping
tried.
now.
I tried.
You want this?
Okay.
The pour.
Smaller
The
son.
boy can pour.
Well, you know about Starbucks for 3 years when I was a child.
No, you did not.
Yeah, sadly I did.
Really?
Yeah. I will say though, a lot of life lessons I learned there. Like how to treat people.
All right, now we wait. Man, I thought that was
I
gonna
have
work.
situational awareness. Because I'm a bag and I would have done the same thing.
Sad. I thought that was gonna work. You want to just do it for my entertainment?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, what a huge dump I just took. I can't believe it worked. I can't believe it. You guys are crazy, dude. The lean back of the seat also moves this angle away from your elbow more.
I'm a little bit like, but I'll just have to drive it.
Imagine having a helmet on right now.
Yeah.
You couldn't move your head past that point anyways right there.
We're finally gonna get to starting the car. This is something that I'm super excited to do. I'm a little bit anxious because we've pulled everything apart and put it all back together. Not necessarily motor-wise, but just dash side and a bunch of plugs and wires and stuff. So one, we're gonna start it so we can bleed the coolant system again, because if you don't remember, we put CSF cooling parts in this car, so we had to drain all the coolant. We're gonna turn the car on, run the heater, try to get this burbled out to get rid of all the air pockets, and then Jordan from RK Tunes is gonna be tuning our car for us tomorrow. But before we get to that, we're gonna be using MHD. Apparently that's a tuning software, a flasher software, I'm not too sure. I just downloaded the app and I plugged in the module that goes into...
Trapped myself.
I'm gonna try and connect to the tuning software and get a screenshot of the codes while Dylan's up here making sure that nothing is leaking. How are you trapped?
I try to crawl over, but not my foot.
Thought I would give you guys a little bit of an update. The interior's out again, which is such a frustrating thing to say because we've done this like so many times. We went to turn on the car and the nav screen and the climate control aren't working. It's important for our nav screen to work because we actually have to turn off an auto updates feature within the car's ECU that doesn't allow the BMW ECU to connect to the internet and re-download new softwares, which would essentially wipe the ECU that we had to send off to like Germany or wherever we did to get it unlocked. So it's vital that we have this nav screen work. Also, that is where we check our oil level and all things like that. We've checked every single plug, we've checked every single fuse, we've checked all the fuses in the back. We cannot figure out why this isn't working. It's tough because it's like you just don't know where to turn. We kind of have the thought process that if there are certain connectors that aren't plugged in, it probably daisy chains and doesn't allow certain things to turn on. So right now we're potentially thinking maybe we have a missing plug out of the back of this box. Only way for us to check is to pull it out of the other Supra. So now, out of like last ditch, we're pulling apart the other Supra to get to the inside to see if we can see if we're missing a plug out of this one. It's a long shot, but it's all we can do at this point.
That's the screen from that car. We're using this car as a constant, so we just eliminated the screen being bad. So now we're gonna pull this and pull the climate system.
I don't remember this light coming on in the other car.
No, it hasn't. So I think this are tied to something.
Don't. He's trying to shit on us.
No, I did. It's not a try thing. What does one look like? There's one black and one gray, both rectangle.
Situation report. I don't know where the plugs are. They're not there. They're gone. I remember fiddling around in here for a long time, trying to find out, where's the box? Box. Find out where this goes. There were no plugs. I think I would see plugs that were that big.
6.5 hours later.
Yeah.
Don't look at me, look at those two. This is all their credit.
Okay, so here's what happened. Let me explain it. I messed up.
Yeah! In his defense, they looked so fucking similar. And we pulled the entire car apart.
And we had to use a second Supra to look at it. Basically, what happened was 2 plugs went into the same hole and vice versa. This little module is dangling. This one fit into this one. So I was like, I'm just gonna go off of what's closest to what. And at the time, the wire distances made sense, but nothing's in the right place. So I was like, I'll plug it in. Literally a coin flip. If it works, it works. And literally that costed us like 3 hours.
But we know A90 is way better now. Pretty stoked. To be honest, I think I'm gonna buy a beat-ass one because I can tear it apart. They look really similar, and we just went off the wire count and how they were oriented. And so Calvin and I were going back and forth. We have that whole car ripped apart right now.
Have we not have had a second A90 here? No way.
Thanks, TJ. You're the best.
No,
I'm
for
just
sure.
saying, like,
No, for
like,
sure. No, here's...
Like, just,
Dead
I
serious.
don't know who to put the
Look
fucking
at
camera
it.
at.
Let me explain. I would have gone there. It would have been a couple more hours when I would have said, hey guys, there's a plug deep in there that was flippable. And we would have went there in a couple more hours.
Well, because we found out that not only was it, one was from the HVAC system for like the blower motor, and one is deadheaded to something else. But not only that, but it's also flipped with more wires in a different orientation. Super weird. Really weird. I'm not even gonna get into the details of what they do because I don't fucking know.
Last thing, to anybody that is doing the same exact thing, the colors are different between the manual one and that one. They're not the same. Do not DM me, because I will tell you, figure it out, because I had to.
It's movie mat.
Daylight.
It's movie magic, and the car's back together. Everything is ready to go. The nav screen works. So the last things we have to do before we're ready for tomorrow is bleed the coolant system and bleed the brakes. We're gonna go ahead, give it a start. It's gonna be an open down pipe, which means it's gonna be loud. Ready?
Yep.
So loud.
Pretty special moment. Car's on the ground for the first time. We just went through the gears, tested the brakes, tested the fluid systems. It's still pretty stock drivetrain wise, but damn, the front's low. Oh, look at the carbon. Holy shit.
Wow.
Sick.
Damn, dude. That carbon looks sick.
She barely fit.
Yeah, with the new wheels, it's gonna be like.
That was a very long day, but we did it. We're stoked. We're gonna make it on time for tomorrow. It's getting super late, and we need to wake up early to start the next video. So I'm gonna end this one here, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out, and keep moving forward.